going to share my screen. So today I will be talking about a unique project at ICPSR called the Qualitative Data Sharing Project. So this started as a project to identify and address ethical and practical barriers to qualitative data sharing, which is often not shared widely due to some unique challenges we'll talk about. So first I will talk about the project. I will talk about our project team, the qualitative data sharing guidelines. I'll refer to it often as QDS as the abbreviation, and pipelines, the QDS Toolkit, and some other data and resources that are available at ICPSR. So as I mentioned, qualitative health data are rarely shared in the United States. This is unfortunate because gathering qualitative data is labor and time intensive, and data sharing enables secondary research, training, and transparency. This project has identified and reduced the ethical and practical barriers to sharing qualitative research data in health sciences research. Health-related qualitative research has a unique value in understanding the stigmatized and hidden, such as risk factors for HIV or a genetic propensity to addiction. Accordingly, a lot of qualitative data are sensitive, and the data are provided within relationships of trust. Qualitative research data are rarely shared because these concerns exist regarding participant confidentiality, data ownership, and the time and burden of and cost of de-identifying data. So this project aims to create a toolkit that provides guidance and materials to address these concerns and a software to support the de-identifying or anonymization of qualitative data. The team here at ICPSR is Dr. Amy Pienta, and myself as the director is Dr. Amy Pienta, and I am the data project manager. And we have partners at Washington University in St. Louis. The PI of this project is Dr. James Dubois, and he has co-PIs that are listed next to him. So these co-PIs not only informed the research that they're doing, but also the software development. So this started from the Bioethics Research Center lab and collaborating with Washington University's Institute for Informatics, or I2, I2 to develop software to support the anonymization of qualitative data. It aims to create this qualitative data sharing toolkit containing guidance and materials and disseminate it to 4 stakeholder groups: data repositories such as ICPSR, qualitative research journals that need to provide links to the data for transparency and sometimes replication, qualitative textbook authors for training purposes, and research institutions. The toolkit will be made freely and publicly available to support data sharing in an ethical manner. Increased data sharing will improve transparency, promote secondary data analysis, and facilitate research training. So these themes will come up time and time again. One of the main deliverables of this project, as mentioned, was the QDS Toolkit. The toolkit offers the following: guidelines for using the QDS software, which can assist with de-identifying data, qualitative data, help finding and selecting a repository such as ICPSR to deposit your data with for secondary research, answers to frequently asked questions about all of these, action ideas for researchers about writing data sharing plans, budgets, and making your data more visible. Often it is easier to share your data when this has been planned from the onset. So this toolkit lets people start thinking about this even as they're setting up their research projects. There are also action ideas for institutions about the ethical, legal, and budgetary considerations for sharing qualitative data, and action ideas for repositories about how to support qualitative researchers with sharing qualitative data. As we discussed, sometimes this can be time intensive in processing qualitative data because it requires thorough disclosure review and a way to share securely. There are also action ideas for journals that would like to encourage qualitative data sharing. and action ideas for qualitative textbook authors about qualitative data sharing and data protections. And this provides a sort of educational and training component. And then there are tutorials and additional information about the QDS software that they provide that assists researchers with de-identifying their qualitative data. As a result, this toolkit not only provides the software component, but it also includes an educational training component that can help illustrate to researchers what can and cannot usually be shared to remain useful for secondary analysis and provide context while also protecting respondent confidentiality. The software itself works by flagging variables, types, or words that are potentially problematic for the researcher's review. Once reviewed, the researcher can choose to keep the variable, remove the variable, and replace it with a placeholder such as name1 or location1, or potentially apply a pseudonym where applicable. Once finished, the researchers will receive their original output, a log of changes made, and the anonymized files. The anonymized or de-identified files are what they would share with a repository or perhaps their journal or wherever they need to share that data so that it can be available for secondary research, replication, things like that, transparency. Where ICPSR comes in is the archive or repository side. Our QDS team worked to identify and reduce these barriers to qualitative research data and health sciences research. So this, so at ICPSR, we have received the data from this project and it's still in progress. So not only do we have the studies that were enrolled in this project, the QDS Data Sharing Project, but also once finished, we will get the data from the project itself. So the team with QDS used their software, the enrollees in their project. And then after they used their software, they provided ICPSR with the anonymized files. We are able to have a sort of collaborative conversation afterwards where we then give feedback to the software team so that they can further hone and improve upon the software so that it's even more useful in the future. So the curation team does their own disclosure review risk and provides this feedback on what they find. This also informs a sort of educational component where we're able to work with these researchers as they enter the study and let them know sort of what we'll be reviewing for at the end so that they're able to take care of that while they're going through the software. So right now, the project aims to have 30 studies available through ICPSR, in addition to the data that the study itself generates. The de-identified transcripts are available freely through ICPSR, so you don't have to be a part of a member institution because this was a funded project, although they are restricted. This means that due to the sensitive nature of these qualitative data, researchers still need to apply for access to the data and agree to a restricted data use agreement that protects further the confidentiality of respondents. We currently have 19 studies live on the series page website, and we have 11 more forthcoming. And these are, as I said, health-related research. So these topics include things such as mental health, cancer, addiction, intimate partner violence, childbirth, and even more topics than that. It really spans a broad range of different health-related topics. So I am actually going to just click to the series page to show the list of current studies. Jenna, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see the website page? Or are you still seeing the presentation?
We are still seeing the presentation.
Okay, I might have to stop sharing and reshare then.
Yes, you likely do.
Are you seeing it now?
There we go. Yep.
Great. So at ICPSR, this is the Qualitative Data Sharing Project Series page. So you can go to the ICPSR website and search for qualitative data in the search box, and it will pull up one of these studies or the series. These are the 19 studies that we currently have and are currently curating more studies as we speak. There's a wide range of studies, and they're all fairly recent, which is great. And this would give you an idea of what's available in the de-identified transcripts. As I mentioned before, we try to keep as much information in these studies as possible to provide context, to provide usefulness for secondary analysis, but also balancing that with the confidentiality concerns and re-identifying of participants. So these studies have all been through the QDS software. We receive the anonymized files, we do our own disclosure review, and then we send that information back to the software team so that they can sort of improve upon the software. The software has undergone a few iterations, which is great because it's becoming more user-friendly and more applicable to different types of research, different types of qualitative studies. And this has been a really enlightening process on qualitative data sharing, and is perhaps something that repositories will use in the future on their end when they receive qualitative data. So this has been a very interesting project with our partners at the Washington University in St. Louis to not only sort of identify these barriers, but actually put it into a practical context where it's being used. The qualitative data is being shared for secondary analysis, and the software is being approved upon and will hopefully be available soon.
Sarah, could you just really quick, I know you said that you could, if you came to the ICPSR website and you typed in the search bar, what was it that you could type in the search bar to pull this list up? Could you just put in QDS?
I'm not sure if just QDS, but if you go to series and search for qualitative, or go to the Qs if it doesn't go there. I'm not sure why it's not pulling it up right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I put you on the spot.
No, it's okay.
But I think it's incredibly
I just don't have
amazing.
it going, but yeah. So, but if you do, maybe it's just because it's further down on my page. But if you go to the series page, you can find the data that you're looking for, qualitative data sharing under series at ICPSR. And it will pull up the 19 studies that we have, and also a link out to the toolkit as well. And there were links in the slide if you were interested in further looking at the different websites that are associated with this, from the study side and from the data side.
Thank you.
Do we have any questions at this time, Jenna, or anything I can help people figure out to find this or to learn about qualitative data sharing?
Not yet, but if anybody does send one in, they can use the Q&A box and send in any questions, and we can always come back to them. So if you want to continue on with the remainder of your presentation, or if you want to go ahead and just step through some of the ways that people can use it, you could do that as well, whatever you want to do.
Sure. So as I said, these are restricted data at this time because of the sensitive nature of the data. So once you go to the series page, you would click on one of the studies that you're interested in. There will be, actually, I'll share that page again so I can just show what I'm talking about as we go. So I'll just choose the first one here, and you would use this access restricted data button. And then if you press continue, it would take you to the application page where you could see what you need to fill out to apply for this. One of the great things about ICPSR in general, and this is not unique to qualitative data, but we also do have data related publications that are associated. So you can also see what sort of research has been done with these qualitative data already.
It looks like we do have 2 questions that have come in. Would you like me to read them to you, or would you like to read them aloud and answer them yourself?
Can you please grab them, Jenna?
Sure. So they're in the Q&A box, and the first one is, if we collect qualitative data, can we share it with ICPSR?
So the answer to that is yes. This project aims to make that an easier and more or less painful process, right? So you can share that. There will be a back and forth regarding de-identification and disclosure risk. Some of that work can be done on your end by removing things that are common identifiers, or what we call PHI, or personally identifiable information, which would be things that are sort of obvious to us, like name, address, anything like that that would be unique to that individual. And then ICPSR actually has a more robust disclosure review process that includes things that we consider what's called secondary identifiers, which are sort of other context things that may re-identify somebody if it's particularly unique, such as an organization where they might work or something like that. We do try and keep as much in as possible for context, like I said, but we also are, we err on the side of protecting respondent confidentiality. This software, once it becomes available, will make that a quicker process. So you can put it through the software and it will flag those things so that you can identify them and change them at a much probably quicker rate than just reading through the transcripts initially. And that is a service that we hope to provide in the future. We are testing, we're sort of in this project phase right now. This study is not over. So we are testing the feasibility of using that software on a large scale. And once it becomes available, it will be used for, I assume, all qualitative research coming into ICPSR, but there is still an avenue for doing that for the time being. So yes, please contact us and share your data, and we'll help you get that deposited.
Thank you. We have a lot of questions that have come in. So the next question that I see is, how are the data made available? Are they accessible through a virtual enclave, or do researchers actually get sent the files to use on their own machines and not in the enclave?
So for this particular series, these are available for secure download, which is onto your own machine. So because of the thoroughness of the de-identification, we feel comfortable with researchers having their own copy. There is a way to access things through the VDE for a fee at ICPSR if the data aren't already available in there. So if there were some reason why you couldn't access them on your own machine, we could work with you to make that available. But traditionally, these are what we call secure downloads. So you would apply, and once approved, you would get a copy, an encrypted copy that you would work with our team to get onto your own machine.
Thank you very much. So the next question is, could a link to this presentation be put somewhere on the QDS Project Series collection page? It's useful background and context for that collection for users.
So yes, we will be providing this recorded presentation through ICPSR. And as we get more information from the study and the study project data itself, we'll collect the resources related to this and try and keep them all together on the series page.
And then we have, for those who want to utilize this tool in the future, what should we pay attention to in our IRB applications?
So that is a more in-depth conversation that I would love to be a part of. So I don't know if there's a way for us to get individual contact information, but you could reach out to the QDS Toolkit. That toolkit will provide guidance and things to consider even at the start of a data project. So even as part, I think it has information on data management plans, and this would be included in that sort of this conversation with what to have in your IRB. I think it's usually an issue of consent, making sure that folks know that de-identified data will be available in the future. in assuring them of the de-identification process and what's involved with that. So I would refer to the QDS Toolkit on that website, and it's linked from the series page. That would have the most robust list of things to consider and include as part of your thinking about managing your data.
And I would think that they could probably also reach out to, in combination, if they have questions as they're looking at the toolkit, would they be able to reach out to you or to the ICPSR help desk?
Yep, either of those, yes, that will come. ICPSR help desk will get sent to me if you mention the Qualitative Data Sharing project, and I can provide my contact information as well.
Okay, do you mind if Dory puts it in the feed loop chat?
Please.
Okay.
Do.
Dory, if you could do that, that would be great. And then, so first of all, fantastic questions. And I know that a number of us are very excited about this tool, in fact. But so then somebody else asked, I may have missed it. Will the software be free to use?
So the software was intended to be free or available to institutions to use, such as repositories. I think they are currently, like I said, this project is still ongoing. So a lot of this hasn't been entirely sussed out yet. So I would recommend staying in touch. So either contacting me and I can put you in touch with the folks who are working on that aspect of the project, but they are in talks to make this available. So they're working with their institution and working with potentially, I think, a company so that it would be easily made available. I believe repositories are the intended audience at this time, but I'm not sure what the future holds for this type of software. It's new and sort of unique in this sense, and they are hoping to make it as widely available as possible and also as sort of an educational component, right, to help people figure out what can't and can be shared with qualitative research.
Is there a, and this is off the top of my head, nobody asked this, but is there like a way that they can sign up for announcements about this?
I'm not sure about announcements, but anything that becomes newly available will be updated on the Toolkit website. And if they contact me, then I will make sure that we also forward any new information to them.
Okay. Is that sort of the new announcements about this particular project, would that be something that would be placed in ICPSR's announcements?
Any big developments, yes.
Okay, so if they sign up for ICPSR's announcement email list, then they would get that. Okay. All right. Are there any other questions? We still have a little bit of time. Comments, thoughts?
Just as my own closing comments, this has been a really interesting project, and it's fun to see how it has developed, or it's been really enlightening to see how it's developed. So there's so much rich data out there, and especially qualitative data provides a really unique and rich aspect to sort of things that are hard to suss out in a survey or other types of quantitative documents. And finding a way to help researchers share it more widely and still feel confident that it is safe and secure has been really just a great project to work on, and seeing where it goes, right? So they're still, you know, improving the software and things like that. And I think once this study is completed, it will be a great resource to researchers, qualitative researchers in general.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Sarah. I do not see any more questions coming in at this time. I would encourage any of you, if you sign off and you think of questions later, to go ahead and reach out to Sarah or to ICPSR's help desk. We're totally interested in staying in touch, so feel free to do that. All right, well then what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this session early, and we all get about 10 more minutes in our day. But thank you, Sarah. This has been very exciting and promising and hopeful for the future.
Yes, thank you. And please reach out if you're interested in any aspect of this.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye all.